Hey everyone, we are on Offsite Dirt. It is January's edition of our kind of talk about the month event here. And I've got, of course, some amazing, beautiful faces you see here as well. And of course, we have other contributors that are out busy in the field that aren't able to join us. But I'm Shaun Amour here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and happy to talk about January. I hope that you've spent December celebrating your 2023 and also planned for an amazing 2024. And that's kind of why we're here today is talk about what events are occurring in our lives in the months of January and February. Because if you've been checked out the Offsite Dirt website, you have seen the events page and you can see there is a lot of amazing events that have been put together by all the amazing people in the industry today, from modular, offsite, high performance, you name it. There's a long list of exciting events. So hopefully they're in your calendar, and we're going to talk about a few this month. So, Audree, let me give it back to you to say a lovely Happy New Year to everyone. And I'm glad to see everyone's smiling faces here today.
Me too. It is wonderful to be here in 2024. There are very exciting events that are happening as we kind of discuss, also projects that are happening. I feel like from the industry partners and people that I speak with, the funding and investment areas are going to start opening again. It seems as though the last quarter, fourth quarter, was a little bit slower for those investment projects and those developers to pull through these new projects and multifamily projects. But I hear positive things going into this year. So let's all keep our fingers crossed that that will be the case because we certainly need more and more housing. On that note, we have two other people with us, our friendly Karen Benner, and we also have Joe Konopacki. Joe, how's it going in Chicagoland area?
Things are booming in Chicago. They can't seem to build houses fast enough in this area either. We obviously at Insight Property Services here, we're full service building consulting. So we're inspecting homes pre-purchase, and we're also dealing a lot with renovations of existing homes, doing energy audits and home performance testing, and working with new home builders to get the homes Energy Star certified or at least code compliant. And yeah, that, like I said, they can't build them fast enough. The demand for homes is outstripping the supply. So home inspections are slow, and we're trying to get those builders to not just finish a house, but raise their game and go beyond code with their efforts. Sometimes that's an easy push, and sometimes it's a little bit harder. So it's a little tough when you try to convince them, like, hey, you can set yourself apart from the rest of the industry by building, beyond code. And they're like, I just got to finish it, man. It'll sell. And you're like, you're right. It's like, it kind of takes the rug out from under you making that argument. But, you still try to find like, oh, well, Tom's doing, you remember your colleague, Tom, he's building the houses better than code. And you're like, man, I could do better than Tom. You're like, well, you say so. So you have to you got to try to figure out another way to encourage them, and sometimes it's a little bit of a friendly competition that maybe gets them to raise their game. So it's always interesting to try to communicate the benefits and kind of incentivize people to go a little bit above and beyond. So, but yeah, things are going well here. And we'll let everybody else say hi before I take any more time telling you what's going on in Chicago.
Well, I'm going to take it back really quick. And for many of you, last week we actually did a LinkedIn Live and we talked about the thermal building envelope. And we had Adam on there, Adam White, Mark Willie, Shaun Amour, and we had Safi. And it was a really lively discussion and actually educational, showing actual modeling of what a wall system might look like. And it was a great discussion to kind of figure out, how do we stay more comfortable in our homes? How do we design and build a little bit better to help us sustain energy values? And so if you get a chance, make sure to look at us on LinkedIn Live, and we'll be posting that show hopefully in the very, very near future on Offsite Dirt. But meanwhile, we have one amazing woman with us today. Karen Benner, how are you doing? Happy New Year.
I'm wonderful. Happy New Year, everybody. I can't seem to get my name to get corrected on here. I am not representing the board of directors that I belong to with my community group tonight. But I'm Karen Benner, and it's amazing that it's 2024. I really don't know what happened in November and December. They're just kind of a blur. And I saw a meme today that somebody posted, "Oh my gosh, everybody's circling back," and that's exactly what this week has been about. Of just everybody coming out of the woodwork. But yeah, doing great. Lots of exciting stuff on the books this year. I am working with Module again. I'm excited to announce they're a local modular, all net zero home builder here in the Pittsburgh area. And I've worked with them in the past, and I'm excited to be working with them again in 2024. Can't share a lot of details about my secret assignment, but suffice it to say that we are going to be creating more and more opportunities for people to choose to go modular, make it easier for them, take some of the excuses away from folks that don't want to seem to make the switch. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I've got a couple things coming up that we can talk about when we get into events. I will also say one of those I'll talk about right now is I just learned today that our local Green Building Association is going to have a tour of company here in Pittsburgh I didn't even know existed that actually does prefabricated industrialized construction of interior commercial spaces. And so I'm looking forward to that. I have not been in that world before. That's what's going on in Pittsburgh.
I love that. I feel like we're circling the wagon. Here in Savannah, which is really exciting. I think it's the first one ever. It's called the Deconstruction and Reuse convention that they're doing for 2 days. And one of the clients that we interviewed, Urban Machine, they are actually going to be a speaker at the event. So I'm looking forward to attending that in February here in Savannah. And just for a lot of people that may not know, in Savannah, they closed one of their largest contracts ever in the state, which is a $5 billion project with Hyundai, who is opening a mega factory here, and they are basically building it from ground up. They've been on schedule. It's supposed to be opening in 2 years, bringing 17,000 jobs to the area, along with over 150 brand new homes that are going to be needed within that time span. Again, I'm trying desperately to bring in offsite construction into the space. So we'll see. There's lots of factories that are coming here in Georgia, and it should be exciting to see how everything's going to expand in this small little town that's going to really integrate into all of this new infrastructure and new housing and bringing in a lot of people from South Korea. So it should be an exciting time to see how things are going to flourish. I'm going to throw it back to you, Shaun. Tell us what else is going on in your neighborhood.
Yeah, well, so my kind of main role is working as VP of Operations with Clay Construction, and the big project that I'm excited to kick off, hopefully in March or April. We'll see exactly when we get our demo permit, but we will be actually starting off the job by doing deconstruction. We've got a large project that we're working with a local deconstruction company. I no longer use the word demolition. Everything should be deconstructed, and I think that's been the fun part of 2023 was learning new language to talk with our specialists and our team and our industry to make sure that we're all kind of speaking the same stuff, because there's a lot of key phrases or key words that are out there, and trying to making sure we're all kind of talking the same language. So that'll be a great house that we will deconstruct and then rebuild into a multi-unit. So it's density, it's high performance. It'll actually be my first passive house retrofit that I'll be undertaking. We finished kind of like a net zero retrofit this year. This one's a bigger project, look forward to that. But then on the property, also I have a triplex. And so we're going to do a prefabricated passive house triplex. So really excited with that. And one of the key members of that is Be Collective. And their factory just started up in the last couple months here. And so they actually have an open house on January 19th. And I actually just reminded myself about that date. So I'll send you the details to put up on the website, Audree. So that's locally what I'm really excited about. We've got other high performance projects here that we're trying to wrap up. So January is a bit of a wrap up and get a couple of process systems in place so that I can focus on this big project. But then we get into the end of February where many of us will be heading to Vegas. Some of us will be heading to Colorado. Some of us will be in the same time zone. So at least we're finally in the same time zone. And I look forward to kind of our March discussions of what we learned in February. So yeah, January is kind of a wrap up of 2023, some finishing, some planning, but the calendar is ready. And now I'm just working on executing the plan and looking forward to an amazing year.
I love that. Hey, Sai, it's nice to see you. What's been going on with you? What do you have that's new in the new year and this year? We'd love to hear from you.
It's great to see you too, Audrey, and everyone here. The new year, it's always looking brighter and brighter every year. It's just been great because 2023 has allowed us to continue to improve, like we're always trying to do with design and building, with high performance building, specifically. And as time goes on, you always find better ways to do things, and you'll learn from great folks like everyone here in this call and our other colleagues and folks doing this outside of here. But we've reinforced our work that we do internally. Like we used to do all the layers for all the walls and the envelope in the field, and a few years ago we started doing our own prefab walls, offsite building it. And so we found that it can help other people that are interested in doing it, or other builders or other designers, actually make it happen, because we bring the things that we've learned about the different climate zones we've worked in, and the different goals for performance and durability, and we just apply it in a prefab situation where we do it off-site, but it was already talked about with the design team and the builder, and we create it off-site and we send it to the job. Sometimes we'll put it up, sometimes they will, and so we're trying to make things easier for folks. And Green is getting more, becoming more of a team member on other people's teams, and self-performing work, doing certified pass house consulting work like WUFI modeling, energy modeling, but also doing some of the high performance trade work, which is awesome. And then we're applying everything in Green to our development company we started a few years ago, Reland Group. And so we don't like to call ourselves developers. We like to more call it like a community builder, because there's more to a building than there is, it being a structure. It's about the community. It's about the place it's in. It's about the environment, and so we have implemented high performance building into multifamily affordable. And, we were recently, it's kind of a tight schedule. We had a different designer early on. We weren't able to get modular. We had the conversation with our second designer, but we're at a minimum do offsite building for the outside walls. So that's more and more what we're going to continue doing in 2024.
I love it. I feel like you're doing more standardization, right? And productization. We're starting to utilize these skill sets in order to have efficiencies. And it's always wonderful to watch you guys on Instagram. I really love that. I see us expanding a little bit more in that space, and it's really wonderful to see how that's growing. Joe, I know that we were talking about, blower test and energy audits. What are you seeing going on? I mean, you're just busy as crazy as busy. Like when people are talking about your industry or finding someone doing energy audit, I don't even know if there's anybody in Savannah, Georgia, like nobody talks about it. So how do we start like finding people like you?
So there's you're looking for somebody that's going to be BPI certified, Building Performance Institute, and they've got to find a professional search feature on their website. Somebody could be a ResNet certified HERS rater. Generally, the ResNet folks are typically working on new construction. BPI folks are typically dealing with existing homes and trying to improve their performance. A lot of folks are dual certified. When new construction is down, then existing home, the activity moves to existing homes. And, when new construction goes up, then people kind of shift around. So we're dual certified. So that's why we have our hands on improving existing homes and, trying to get new construction homes to be built to beyond code standards. A lot of folks are finding us through energy.gov. I believe that's the website. But, I think that's because of our listing through ResNet and being an Energy Star rater partner. So when a builder says, I want to be an Energy Star builder, they have to kind of go through some online courses to kind of, get themselves oriented. And then they have to basically declare that they're going to partner with a rater partner, somebody, a third party to do the energy modeling and consulting and testing. It's one thing to say, you're cool and you build a great house. It's another thing when somebody else says, hey, that guy's cool and he builds a great house, So, and that's what I tell people, like, you can say you build something awesome. How about a third party comes and says it? It's going to hold more weight. So that's generally how people are finding us. I just wanted to mention, you guys are talking about offsite construction. There's we'll have to get them on the show. Company is called Inherent Homes here in Chicago. Tim Swanson. They are two missions. One, build trades capacity, train people in the trades, and do infill housing. So they're building homes in components, basically two major large components in a factory. They truck them out on site, set them in place, finish the cladding and some small interior details. Some of the tightest new construction homes that we've been testing, all electric, affordable. So the guy's doing really cool stuff. We had a great tour of his facility a couple months ago. So we'll definitely have to get him on the show. But it's exciting to see stuff like that. They started out, one house, every 2 months. By the end of this year, they were at 2 houses a month. And, into this year, they're looking at, getting to 4 houses a month to finish the year with 8 houses a month. So you don't lose any time, building inside of a factory. You don't have to roll up tools and lay them out the next day. You don't have rain days, snow days. And in Chicago, plenty of cold days. So the productivity's up. And then when they're training folks, the training is on the task and not how do you negotiate snow and ice and weather in addition to learning the task. So yeah, very, very interesting. That was a lot of fun to see what he's doing, kind of behind the scenes. Because I saw the end result. They called us in like, hey, we need a blower door test. We need somebody to just kind of confirm some of this stuff. We need a third party to tell everybody how awesome we are. And so we were able to do that with no problem. But I was like, I kind of want to peek behind the curtain, see what the Wizards doing behind the curtain over there, because it turned out pretty nice. So yeah, very, very interesting crew out there, and like I said, doing great work. Houses being built, for a neighborhood by their neighbors is effectively what it is. So it's pretty awesome. So always great to find ourselves working with folks that are, kind of on that leading edge of making cool things happen.
Joe, that's a great. I thought I may just segue to just talking about opportunities for 2024. And I mean, in the construction world, we do need shelter. We need lots of shelter. Hopefully, we make that change to high performance shelter. So anybody looking for career, the construction industry is there. And I recently just saw an article from one of our friends in the LinkedIn world talking about the work that they did with the Department of Housing, because they're looking at trying to create a zero emissions building standard for across the US and incorporating that. And so seeing that from Biden's group working down for you guys is really exciting about how we're having these discussions nationally. I mean, in Canada, we're moving the BC Energy Step Code across the country under, the Canadian government's housing department, probably called the LEAP standard. And so, yeah, if you want to hang out with Joe and be like Joe, we need more Joes. We can't clone them. I wish we could. I mean, look at all the technology coming out of Elon. He can make robots. It was like, just copy Joe. We need more Joes. Because
I'd be able to take a nap.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Take a day
Because
off.
again, we need all these buildings, new and existing, to have that red door there to do the blower door. So we need more Joes. So if you're interested in taking your technical skills and applying it to housing, not only do we need amazing specialists and tradespeople in the field, we also need more energy advisors like Joe. So lots of great opportunities career-wise in 2024, and the fact that more language across the board, nationally, globally, about high performance is really exciting, that it's not just this niche market anymore.
And I've got some great news for anybody who's looking for a career in construction and wants to be BPI certified. I had lunch today, and a little birdie told me that we're getting a BPI training center in Pittsburgh, PA. So very excited about that. And also, Joe, you were touting some of the benefits of working in a factory environment versus a site environment. I always like to tell people the bathroom breaks are a lot better when you're working in a factory than on site. And you can pack your own lunch, put it in a refrigerator. You don't have to eat off the roach coach. So just two of the many benefits to still go into a great career in construction and be inside. And also, Joe, you were talking about, the challenge right now of convincing a builder to build better because they know that
Yep.
the house is going to sell anyway. And as you all have heard me talk about before, I got my real estate license a few years ago and really have tried to bring more awareness and education to the realtor community. I'm a huge believer in we need to be doing more pulling. We need consumers to be demanding this stuff. We
Absolutely.
need consumers to say, this is important to me. I'm not just here for the beautiful flip. I'm here for the low blower door test and the great blower door test and the low utility bills. And our realtor partners are a big part of that solution and changing that conversation for average homeowners and home buyers to understand their choices. And so anybody out there who is also in realtor world, let us help educate you, or if you're educated, educate your friends. And I am in a group of real estate professionals called Latitude Regenerative Real Estate. We're from all over the country, and I'm really excited. I just dropped this on Audree before we started recording tonight, that she and I are going to have the opportunity to put together a workshop for the Latitude community in a couple months to help people understand how offsite construction fits so beautifully under the umbrella of regenerative real estate development, and of course high performance homes and all of the good stuff that comes with offsite. So I'm really excited about that. And then I want to also, I know that we're going to talk about the Builders Show. I think somebody already mentioned that's coming up. I unfortunately don't think that I'm going to be there myself this year, but I want to give a shout out to Green Builder Media. We actually, we had Sarah Gooderman on the Offsite Dirt Show a few months ago. She heads up Green Builder Media, and her team put together a nationwide ESG working group in the year of 2023. We had folks from all over the country and up north as well participate in helping them put together an ESG playbook or workbook or reference guide for builders and developers. And they're going to be officially launching that, putting that out into the world, having an event to celebrate that at the Builders Show. And I've been part of that throughout the year. It's been amazing. The devotion that people have in this industry to commit their time and their knowledge to help put something like this together for the grand price of $0 of income. It's just amazing how much people want to share and help other people understand how they can improve not just the product that they're building, but the business that they're building, the people that they're building. Our industry has such a tremendous impact on people and planet. It just goes on and on and on. And helping people understand how they can make better decisions all across the board of their business I'm all about it. So I'm pretty excited to see that launched.
I love to see your passion, Karen, and I think that's why we're all here today. And I think that's why we have created this collective of amazing experts to really dive into this and know that together we can build better and for the greater good. So there's a couple of really exciting things on the offsite docket this month. We got to meet Eloisa Lewis, who is the CEO of New Climate Culture. She talks about climate and place and where you live and why it's so important to consider all aspects of the built environment. We also reached out to Australia, and we have Outlier with Anthony Jenkins and EcoWise Homes with David Millard. We were able to interview them, and they are using passive house principles on their builds in Australia. So that's a really exciting interview coming up. And then lastly, we have an interview with StructureBot with Jim Scott, who has an innovative way of 3D printing. So as you can see, we're really going to expand not only in high performance, but offsite 3D printing. We're talking lean manufacturing. And then I have to say, Karen, the interview that you did with Susan Gutterman and Green Builder Magazine was really exciting for me because it just shows that when you have this amazing passion to really deliver something greater for people to live in and to really do your research and finding out that they love working with Deval Homes, which is a high performance modular builder. And just so everyone knows, they have several factories and they are expanding. I'm hoping to get Kurt Goodjohn on our show. He is one of the partners in there, and hopefully we'll have opportunity to speak with him. Also, lastly, I was at an event last month in Atlanta. It was the Offsite Construction Network that did their very first expo in Atlanta, and I was lucky enough to meet Jim Gabriel, and he is the CEO of ModLogic. And ModLogic is a company that does a lot of design and planning for steel frame structure. And they're seeing a whole industry that's really opening up for the service industry. So coffee houses, Wawa, which is a fish company. They've been doing projects with them. They also got done doing a massive project for a hospital. So as we are slowly growing and the industry is expanding, we're starting to see offsite as a consideration, hopefully in the pre-planning stages, as Sai has kind of talked about. You have to go in with your team, kind of knowing this is the direction of how you want to do your project. And that's kind of how we start these projects and moving these things forward. So with that, those are kind of some of the great updates that I have. Does anybody else want to jump in? Do you have anything else that you'd like to add for January and February?
Well, I'll maybe just plant a seed just because I see all these amazing people here. And I love how sometimes we get into our own silos and then you hear conversations. And Karen, what reminded me, something that kind of got planted with me this year was, how can we expand existing homes and making them more high performance? And, I keep thinking of how we need to work on, I get in my construction silo, what I need to do to wrap a new building and take off the outside and the cladding and put on a better cladding and all that stuff. But one of the things that kind of ties this all in is the opportunity if we could change the gap of how we buy and sell homes by one day and have that one day opportunity where we would hire Joe, we'd bring in Cy with his air barrier system, and we would, use the air barrier system to seal like existing homes, and then the next day give it to the new homeowner. We'd be able to bring down air leakage by a massive opportunity. But again, that would take the four of us understanding each of our industries to help out that gap. But that's something where again different industries can come together to solve a big solution. I mean, I know we're taking care of our tightness. We have to work on ventilation and some other things, but that would definitely go a long ways to reduce the amount of energy that is lost in a building by just changing the real estate transition by one day could not only keep Cy busy for 1,000 years, but keep Joe making him have to work, 80 hours in a day. But again, this is, those little things where it could have a drastic change to the marketplace. It's just about collaborating with people outside of our own bubbles, and we get great results. So just plant that seed that maybe this is how we do grow, is we take our collaboration to the next level and think outside the box of how we can work together even more.
Awesome.
I love that idea. I did a blower door on my test before I moved in, or on my house before I moved in, right? Unfortunately, I didn't get any fancy air sealing installed yet, but I
But
know where the
again,
leaks are.
yeah.
I've got all the infrared photos. I'm ready.
I mean, that awareness is key, right? I mean, if you talked about one thing this year on your current home, what could you do is hire Joe just to get the base information of where your leaks are, where your potential for opportunity is, and then you can start developing a plan, maybe hire Joe to do the model and see what could be done in what sequence. So it could be a 1 year project to retrofit your home, or it might be a 10 year construction cycle, but at least you know where the best bang for the buck is by
Yeah.
understanding the data and getting the blower
Yeah,
jobs
and
done.
but it's a great point. I've talked to a lot of folks about this just recently that they hear about these incentives, they know there's opportunity, and they do understand how to take that first step and get Joe and get the modeling. It's very overwhelming to folks to implement. They don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the interest. It really is another. I mean, we're coming up with a lot of great business opportunities on the show tonight. I had a really good friend go through this on her home in Boston, and Massachusetts is huge incentives, right? So she's looking at over $10,000 she can be saving, and she didn't want to deal with it. And she called me, can you help me understand how to implement? And I loved it when she called. She said, I need a Sherpa. I need a Sherpa to help me understand this. And you know what happened a month later? An energy auditor connection of mine reached out to me, and I am now consulting for him to convert to create a sister business in his company to do exactly that. That they slide the performance data across the table to the client. Here's what you can do, how much you can save, etc. And oh, by the way, here's a business card for my side company, and we'll do it for you. And when he reached out that he wanted to do this, I was like, yes, this is what people need. So lots of opportunity to really support folks in the entire process.
Yeah, we're finding we're doing a lot of home improvement roadmaps. Bought the house, lived here for a couple years. We know we're going to have to start making some improvements. We have no idea where to start, and we don't want to just, go by the advice of the first, charming contractor that we happen to have, let in the door, right? Even if he gives me a complete work scope, what's the chance that it's perfectly sequenced with everything else that I might have to do to the place? So that's been a huge part of a big sales point that we have is we're giving you a roadmap. We're gonna explain what's wrong with your house, or why, not just what's wrong. What's wrong, why it's doing what it's doing, what can be done to resolve those things, and how you might sequence those tasks in a way that makes sense, right? So that's invaluable. I mean, there's a lot of people that are hot and heavy because of the incentives to get heat pumps in their house. I'm like, listen, if I have to get on a diet and get a new wardrobe of clothes, I'm going to do the diet first, right? So yeah, you got this.
I love that.
Great. Yeah, you got a certificate that says like you have a certificate to go to a clothing store and get a whole new wardrobe of clothes. You can do that before you go on your diet. No, it does.
That's
and
a
people
great
like,
analogy.
yeah, they realize no, like, okay, so we got to get on that building enclosure. Like, let's get that building enclosure as as low weight as we can, and then you put in your high efficiency equipment properly sized, for the next 25 years, right? So, and just that's I appreciate what you're saying, Karen. People find that value, and they still say to me, "Now, can you do all the work?"
Yep.
I'm like, so I'm I've had my feelers out for like a contractor partner, because like I don't have the bandwidth to do contracting on top of the training and consulting work that we're doing, but to create a synergy with a contracting partner, we'd have plenty of business to feed that company, definitely. So there's great synergies that are out there. We just got to find the folks and bring them all together.
Wow, we are just creating jobs just in a half an hour. It's amazing what we could do together. It's incredible. Well, I have to say, Building Performance Institute or ResNet, that's what you want to start talking to. Those are the people you want to start looking up online. And you have all the experts here to tell you how it all works and how it all engages with an existing home or a new home. Obviously, a new home is a whole different conversation. It seems to be a little bit more sequenced, a little bit more performed, a little bit more designed, educated, but don't worry, because there's these amazing professionals that can help you with your energy and your energy audits, right? Sai, what do you have to say to close with us tonight?
Oh gosh, it's there's so much to say for sure. You know, when thinking about any of these things of improving, um, we don't know what we don't know, and that just emphasizes that importance of testing it. So if Joe comes in there and tests it and says, "Hey, this is how it's performing," um, then you can know where you're at, you know what your starting point is, where are my losses, where can I improve, and then understand like what you can do to remediate that and make it better for yourself. And but you have to start a conversation of understanding where you're at and where you can go. And the solutions, they're there. It's just like, where are you at in the process of making that decision? What can you afford? And let's talk about the low hanging fruit and how to improve things. And when Shaun talks about, air sealing, that's like one of the biggest, most important things you could ever do for any home or building without even thinking about, adding insulation or changing windows. If you're air sealing, it just helps create a better indoor environment inside. And it also stops all that leakiness. Texas is now doing air sealing in tract homes because some of these tract home builders know that if you can stop leakage of air coming in, you can really control the humidity inside a house. So, there's just so many wonderful things you can do with just something that's so small and can be done very quickly. And, that's why I think anyone should really just tap in us, reach out to us, Offsite Dirt team, and ask us any questions. We're like an open source of knowledge and experience and information to help improve everyone's lives in the built environment.
Amen. You are so saying exactly what we're all thinking. And just for those that I wanted to show you guys something really quick, not on this channel, but it's coming up. Hold on. Here it is. So I just wanted to mention, we are certainly proud to have our sponsors that have been supporting us. We have House of Design, Lotta Cube, we have Modular Elevator Manufacturing, Offsite Construction Network, we have Remax, we have Sashco, US Frame Factory, Viz Graphics, Wesco. You can click on any one of these icons, which is especially on our upcoming events page, and be able to find out exactly what these partners do. It's really exciting to see our industry expand, and we are certainly so grateful for all our partners, especially Wesco. So don't forget to check us out on LinkedIn Live. We are available every second Wednesday of the month. We actually are changing our time to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 Pacific Standard Time. And we're kind of seeing how that works for people, because we know that we're all so busy, and maybe this will be the magic time for everybody to connect with us. Again, we're certainly happy that you have been here today, sharing your time with us. We hope that this month brings amazing projects, spectacular new beginnings, and who knows, maybe an energy audit. Have a great night. Have a great day. Enjoy. And thank you again for being here with us on Offsite Dirt.